Good afternoon, welcome to our Year 6 into 7 information video. I'm sure you know I'm David Ramsden, I'm the head teacher here at Little Heath School. I've got with me Kaylee Button, deputy head, who's saying hello now.
Hi.
Who you already know, I'm sure, because she's done a huge amount of work with primary schools this summer to try and make it as natural an experience, you making the transition up to secondary school at Little Heath as we possibly can under some fairly unusual circumstances. What we're doing really is sharing a series of PowerPoint slides with you. So I'm going to finish the welcome, I'm going to share my screen, and then we're going to go through a range of information about Year 7 that will hopefully reassure you about the exciting start to the new term. Just give me a second. So I am hopeful that you can see that. Okay, so I've sort of done introductions. The first thing to say, and it's said very, very genuinely, is thank you very much for choosing Little Heath School. We're both biased, we love it here. But it is a great place to work and a great place for students to study. And I think one of the things about it that makes it such a brilliant place is that it really is a community, a school community where we're all trying to get students ready for their learning and ready for the real world that they'll enter, hopefully at the end of year 13. What a strange 2 years we've had. With COVID and lockdown and testing and all of the things that go with it. But I don't think it's changed our focus on Little Heath as a school community. In many ways, I think it's made that stronger. So yes, this year is different, but we are not. And we thought, Kaylee and I, that it would be very useful to just run through some of the things that we are doing, that we're going to do, to make sure that the transition is as smooth as it possibly can be. We've run a series of transition meetings in primary, some virtual and some in the primary schools themselves. I know how many hours Kaylee's put in to that, and I know it's been really well received. So in the absence of being able to do a big transition day, we feel that we've absolutely done the best that we can there. All Year 6 children have had an opportunity to meet some of our Key Stage 3 team. And we've had a separate transition email account, and that will be something that we carry on throughout the summer. Information will come into us. I was asked to do further testing by the government 3 days ago. It does often, the information come in with quite short notice, but we will try to let you know as much as we can, as quickly as we can, about what the new term will look like, and we'll continue to help you. And that transition email account, I think, will be quite important. We've had a very strong transition programme at the school for a number of years, but we've adapted it a little bit this year to include video introductions, to put a bit more detail into the information booklet, because of course there's never anything as good as getting onto school site and seeing Little Heath on a normal school day, but we've really tried to fill that in a little bit through the information booklets, just to give you a better feel of what the school is like. We are adapting the start of the year for Year 7. This is where I need to be really careful that I don't say something that then gets changed by a government announcement. But I can be really reassuring to say we're adapting the start to make sure that some of the induction, the transition work that we would have done this term, we're doing right at the start of the new term in autumn. We're not going to throw your children in at the deep end. We're really going to help with that transition. And as part of that, we're running a summer school. Kaylee and I weren't quite sure how the summer school was going to go down, but to say that it's proved very popular, I think, is an understatement. We're currently at 190 students in the summer school. And I think the combination of a slightly adapted start to the term and the summer school will be brilliant for Year 6 into 7 students. Don't worry if you can't come on that summer school at all. We've got lots planned for you from the start of term to help. Odd for a head teacher like me to say we're not going to do any tests straight away. Well, maybe it isn't, but we're not going to do tests straight away. I hear terrible stories about schools setting up almost an exam period at the start in year 7 to do baseline testing. Well, I think we need to settle you in and concentrate on your well-being and your enjoyment of school first. So lots of exciting lessons, but no immediate tests. They'll come later in the term, I'm sure. Please don't worry, silently at home. Get in touch with us if there's anything that you're worried about, and I promise that we will help. I'm now going to hand over to Kaylee, who's going to talk about some of the other more detailed bits of information about the new year.
Okay, so things that we are going to do, we want to make sure that your children are our children. We've talked a lot about the Little Heath family and them being part of our family, and we want to make sure that we're going to look after your children, be ambitious for them, and really care about them as people, and champion them. We are absolutely passionate about pastoral care and looking after the children. The form tutor is going to be the most important person for your son or daughter at the start of the year. But we have a 2-year Key Stage 3 curriculum that is a really exciting curriculum with lots of activities for the children to get involved in, and also that we stretch, support and scaffold the kids so that we help them to feel that they can achieve anything, that they can try their best and have a go. We are absolutely passionate about growth mindset and making sure that the children don't set ceilings for themselves. We've got a real culture of aspirational targets, which means that the children have bronze, silver and gold targets, so that nobody feels that anything is too far out of their reach, but at the same time they're striving for more. And we've had some children going for their platinum targets now as well. We're going
to have to generate a new type of target, I think.
Yeah, we are absolutely passionate about celebrating success and spreading kindness at the start of Key Stage 3, and the students are amazing at that. I've talked to them quite a lot at transition meetings about the fact that we really want them to become year 7. We feel really strongly that they're the most grown up in their primary school, and we don't want them to be treated like babies when they come here. We want them to feel like they're year 7, not year 1, and they've got lots to offer. And you should see their faces when I say that in the transition meetings with them. They are really excited. They know that they want to come and play a really full part of the school. And when I told them about how much the new building costs, you should see their faces. They think that we've actually paid for it out of our own money, but it is so exciting. And your children are going to be the first year group ever to have had the building right from the very start of their year 7, which is really special, and we are incredibly proud of it.
And we're hopeful from September, no bubbles, and we can just really get as many children in the new building enjoying it, the library, the canteen, the teaching spaces, all of that ready for September will be amazing. We've been living in the building since Easter. It's brilliant, but now with all of the year groups in from September, it will be hugely important to all of them. I'm going to take the next slide. Thank you, Kaylee. If that's what we're going to do in this partnership at the school, then the next slide is really about what we want from you as parents, and not much, I guess, in some ways, working in partnership with us as a school, but actually in other ways it's a huge thing. We want you to be as ambitious for your children, pushing them to be the best that they can be, as you possibly can. And if we do that together, if we have the same shared values and goals as I know we do have, that'll be hugely important. We've picked out just a few examples of that, really, so you can be thinking about it as parents over the summer. Being ready to learn is part of the Little Heath vocabulary. It really is. It's a phrase that kind of captures what we want from students. And you could be forgiven for believing that that's just about, you know, equipment and books and uniform and being on time to lesson. But it's much more important than that. It's about having a positive attitude to learning. As Kaylee said, it's about that growth mindset where you don't hold yourself back, where you try new things, and even when they don't go correctly right, you don't succeed in your view the first time. Actually, you just keep going and going until you secure that knowledge or you learn a new skill. It's really important to us. That's what being ready to learn means. It's not just about equipment and books, even though all of that is really important. Kaylee's already talked about being ready to contribute to the life of the school as year sevens, not, you know, feeling like they're year ones again. And if I want something from you in that regard as parents, I always say this when we're live on school site, just try something new. If you can encourage your children to come here and try an extracurricular activity, for example, that they've never done before, it really will help them to grow and to gain so much more. We do an awful lot. I send out a weekly update letter to parents every week, where I talk about COVID and lockdown and what we're doing in the school, but I also try to talk about the kinds of activities that are available for all of the children. And there are so many: sport, music, drama, the list goes on. And our house competition, which is coming to a real kind of peak in terms of the end of term and sports day and all of that, those sorts of things are really important. So my plea to you, I think, is encourage your children to try something new that they've never done before. Being ready to read is really important to us, to me as a head. If there's anything that I think has been an issue with COVID and lockdown and children being out of school, there's lots of impact there, of course, but I think literacy skills, reading skills have perhaps suffered the most, and we're working so hard to make sure that isn't the case at Little Heath. We do an awful lot in terms of reading and writing skill at the school. But again, a single plea for you, please. We have an accelerated reader programme at the school that encourages private reading for pleasure and enables children to work through different levels of reading book and quizzes attached to them that are kind of linked to their reading ability. It's really aspirational. It's really well structured. So if you could do me another favour, please, of making sure that your children are still reading over the summer, still valuing books over the summer. So when we get into September, we can hit the ground running with accelerated reader. That would be brilliant. And really just support them coming to the school and being ready to grow as people. There are a few examples of the sorts of things that we do at the school. We've mentioned a couple of them already. Being open to making new friends with other children that they've never met before, as well as keeping their friendships from their primary schools. We've really got a kind of new friends, old friends approach to the organisation of tutor groups, and we want to make sure the transition supports that. By personal development work, I mean the kind of personal, social and health education work that goes on in schools. Our personal development programme is brilliant, and I want the students to really commit to that in year 7 so that they grow as people, not just in their more traditional subject lessons. Please listen to the note again at the bottom of that slide. We want you to keep in touch. So if there's anything that I've just said about the support we require from you as parents that you want any more information about, get in touch with us and we'll help as much as we can. I'm going to hand back over to Kaylee for 2 more slides and then we'll round off.
So we are asking you for something else, I'm afraid.
Sorry.
I've created a transition booklet that we've been doing for a couple of years now. And it's designed to be a bit of fun, but also to show off some different talents. I feel really strongly that we want to get to know the children really, really well. And so these booklets, I kind of designed them using almost like the colouring book and doodle pads style. So you'll see when you get them. The kids can add colour to them, pages to them, add doodles, they can write on them. It's their document, but they will be bringing them in on the first day back. Now, there is a big house point competition as part of it, which is help my tutor to get to know me. And in that, they can do anything they want, absolutely anything that would help their tutor to get to know them. Now, we have had some absolutely fabulous things over the last couple of years.
Really creative things.
Amazing. We've had some brilliant photo walls, some models made, some superb videos, hilarious videos, all sorts of things. And it could help you out with getting them to do something in the holiday.
Keeping them occupied.
Well, we've had whole families being involved in them. We had one group that made an Olympics with their family, which was absolutely hilarious. But the deadline for that booklet is the first day back in September. You will get a copy of them posted out to you, but there will also be spare copies that we put on the website, and we'll email them out to you. Last year was the first year that I'd created a transition questionnaire. And I think it's so funny that last year I did it all on paper and then asked people to scan them all in or email them back.
Yeah.
And this year we've done it all on Teams and forms, because we're now everything's changed so much. So we have had over 240 responses to that. So for 255.
Wow.
So that means I've only got about 20 people left to chase up. So if you haven't already done that and you need some help from us, then please, please, please get in touch. So this is the big one. And this is one where I really do need your help. Now, as I mentioned in my email already, we are not going to be able to run the Meet the Tutor evening this term. And there are so many reasons why, but predominantly to do with the massive amount of activities that are going on in the primary schools on different days throughout the next 2 weeks. So what we're doing is we will send a video link on Monday the 19th of July, which is an introduction from your child's form tutor to tell them that that's who their tutor is, and to get to know them, and to also tell them what house they're in. There will also be another video from Miss Kennedy, who's their head of year, and she will go through all of the information that the form tutors would normally have gone through on that evening. And she'll give you copies of the form tutors' email addresses so that you can contact them directly if you need to. Now, because we're not running that meeting, what we did this year was we ran a meeting a couple of weeks into term, 3 weeks into term, where all parents were able to have a one-to-one with their form tutor to discuss how the child had settled in and any issues they had. And that was such a valuable experience that we're definitely doing that again this year. Now, this is the bit where I do need some help. I work incredibly hard on the tutor groups to try to create a real balance, and also, crucially, to try to find children some new friends, some different friends, but also to try to keep them with somebody that they know. So there is no way that your son or daughter is going to be with everyone that they're friendly with from their primary school. We have got over 30 different primary schools joining us. So I'm sure you can imagine that we need to work really hard to mix those groups up and to create some fantastic friendships. And it's really important for you to support us with that. Please encourage them to be brave and try to make some new friends, because I'm hoping that the summer school will be great for that. But those children who can't come to the summer school, they don't need to worry. We will make sure that they do lots of work with their tutor group at the very beginning. So please put your trust in us. Don't panic if you think that they don't know very many people. Very quickly, they'll have a whole new set of friends, which is fantastic.
And I think that sort of brings us to the end. I'm going to unshare the screen, as it were, in a second, and then just say goodbye to you. But just want to repeat, thank you for choosing Little Heath School. We're really excited to have you here joining our school community from September. And please get in touch if there are any worries. Lots of ways to get in touch with the school, obviously Facebook and the transition pages. I'm just going to unshare. Forgive me for being a bit clunky. Oh, I think we might be okay. Yes, so lovely to speak to you. I hope that's been useful. One last thing in terms of next steps, really, we've got a virtual coffee morning scheduled for Friday the 16th of July this term. Normally in the old days, we would run a series of coffee mornings at individual primary schools. I can now do it on one Teams call, and what we usually do is a little bit of a presentation and keep it very informal, an opportunity for you to chat to us and ask us any questions that you have. So I repeat, 9 a.m. on Friday the 16th, and I guess Kaylee, the link will
I'll send the link out, but there is absolutely no obligation to attend. It's just if you have anything that you'd like to ask us,
yeah,
we're more than happy to answer them.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much from Kaylee.
I
hope that's been useful. I'm really looking forward to seeing you all in September, ready for the new term. As I say, get in touch if there are any concerns. Thanks very much.